Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're taking a look at the villain alien characters for Alliance Battle. We're going to be testing out all 4 options, and yeah, we're going to be starting off with Loki and then moving on to Thanos and then Hades and then finally Aries. But yeah, starting off, we're taking a look at Loki and his build. He is a very good Alliance Battle character. However, he needs a stacked build to give you the numbers that you're looking for. And not to mention, his gameplay is actually very difficult. I can't say I mastered it, but still, let's take a look at how he performed in Alliance Battle Legends. Now, even though we are testing out alien villain characters, to keep the supports consistent, I ended up testing them in the male villain restriction, but that shouldn't be a big deal. But yeah, moving back to Loki's value in Alliance Battle, even though he qualifies for a total of 5 restrictions in Alliance Battle, the most important restriction that he qualifies for is the villain alien restriction in Alliance Battle Legends. In Alliance Battle Legends, he has 2 out of 3 cancels in his kit, only missing Shock. Now, as I was saying before, he is very difficult to play. The rotation that I try using is 1 cancel 5, slight delay cancel 3, cancel 4, and then you let him swing 4 times before going on to 2. And then you can use the 6 anytime, but you need to wait until the pillars appear, and then you can cancel everything and just move on with your normal rotation. The best build for him is a Rage CTP because he has guaranteed crit rate already in his kit with this uniform. But yeah, we're near the end of this run, and as you can see, we're not even going to be able to cross 10 million. It's a bit of a bummer, but like, as I said before, I'm not the best at playing with him. So yeah, we get our first scores on the board with Loki. Following that, we have Thanos. With the Wise Harvester uniform, he is actually a very good PvE character. But he is a native tier 2 character, so compared to the other options here, he is much more expensive when it comes to upgrading him. Not to mention, he also missed out on the value he has in PvP with his alternate uniform. But yeah, we're using him with a 4-star artifact and a mighty CTP of Rage. But now that we have taken a look at his build, we can finally move on to testing him out in Alliance Battle Legends. So yeah, for Alliance Battle, he qualifies for a total of 5 restrictions, the exact same ones as Loki, and his value shines the most in Alliance Battle Legends Villain Alien Restriction. Unlike Loki, he does have all the cancels already in his kit, making him very versatile for all the seasons. And not to mention, he is comparatively easier to play than Loki and gives you very competitive numbers. However, at the absolute top level, I don't think you can use him to compete with Loki, as Loki is just levels above with like a brilliant Rage. Now, talking about a Rage, we are using Thanos with a Rage, but after looking at his kit, since he doesn't have guaranteed crit rate, I think you would get better value from using a competition CTP. As for his rotation, I did 6 quick cancel, 5 cancel, 2 cancel, 1 cancel, 3 cancel, 4. His 4th skill has a very unique animation where he keeps bonking at the boss's head. One big downside to this uniform is that it's a full crystal cost seasonal uniform, and him being a native tier 2 character, it costs you 2,500 crystals, which is a very steep price tag. But with that being said, we conclude our run. We crossed 10 million, a decent score, and at a lower level, he does outshine Loki. But with that, we can now move on to Hades, a premium character that you can obtain from the Deluxe pack for the Olympus Epic Quest. Hades is a very strong PvE character. I also have a 4-star artifact on him and a mighty CTP of Rage. Let's get started with his run in Alliance Battle Legends. Overall, in Alliance Battle, he qualifies for the same restrictions as Loki and Thanos, making them competitors as soon as he came to the game. For Alliance Battle Legends, he has 3 out of 2 cancels, only missing Shock in his kit. The rotation that I used with him is 6 cancel, 5 cancel, 4 cancel, 1 cancel, 3. You can also use a second skill so that your tier 3 and tier 4 skill loads up quicker. Ideally, you should use a CTP of competition on him to get the best results. After I completed my testing, I did switch back to a CTP of competition because it is his best CTP. One big issue with him is that you need to spend 6,600 crystals to get your hands on him, making him a less enticing option for a lot of you guys. You also have to keep in mind that you unlock Zeus and you don't need a uniform for Hades when you take into consideration Hades' overall value. As we inch closer to the end of this run, it seems like Hades crosses 11 million with comfort, but we are still going to be falling short of 12 million. Now when I did test him in the tier 4 video, he did perform better with the competition, so be sure to check that video out down below. Now we can finally move on to the last character of this video, Aries. He is the last minute addition to this video, hence why he has a different build compared to the others. He is missing his artifact, however I am using him with a brilliant rage CTP. Since I am using him for alternate restrictions, I ended up giving him a better build for my day-to-day use, and I couldn't really swap out the CTP for the recording, so he does have a slight upper hand when it comes to the CTP. Now comparing him to the other characters in this video, he is a combat character and he qualifies for different restrictions compared to them. He qualifies for 1 Alliance Battle Extreme restriction and 4 Alliance Battle Legends restriction. For Alliance Battle Legends, just like Loki and Hades, he is also missing Shock in his kit and he has the other 2 cancels. The rotation that I am using him with is 6 cancel, 5 cancel, 3 quick cancel, 4. You can use 1 and 2 and 1 has a V-pad, so that makes him much easier to play. But yeah, moving on to his build, Rage is the best CTP for him because he has guaranteed crit rate already in his kit. Even though he is a semi-premium character, he is extremely versatile for Alliance Battle. You can use him in several restrictions and he gives you decent numbers with a mediocre build. But as we draw near the end of this run, we can see that he crossed 12 million, the highest in this video. You have to keep in mind his build was better, but still, we got 12 million on the board as our final score. And that ends our testing. We can now finally move on to see the rankings of the scores. At the top of the list, we have Aries with 12 million, but we did use him with a brilliant rage. In my opinion, Aries might just be the budget option for this restriction. While the other characters need heavy investment, he doesn't need that much of an investment and give you decent returns. Additionally, you can also use him to replace Gladiator in other restrictions. Now following Aries, we have Hades with 11.57 million on the board. He is very good, but he does need a competition and also a big investment in the form of 6,600 crystals to buy the deluxe pack. He's still a very decent option for this restriction and he's very easy to use. So yeah, it wouldn't be a bad shout if you plan on building him. Following that, in third place, we have Farmer Thanos with a score of 10.5 million. He is a decent PvE character, but given the investment you have to put into building him up as he's a native tier 2 character, I genuinely wouldn't recommend building him for PvE. I myself am gonna be switching him back to a PvP build. So yeah, I just wouldn't recommend you guys to build him and also buying his seasonal full cost uniform because it's just too expensive for a character who doesn't give you that much of a return in PvE. And finally, we have Loki. Now, even though he ranks at the absolute bottom for this video, I think if you invest a very good build on him and also master his gameplay, he will outperform all 3 characters we tested in this video. But yeah, you have to keep in mind that he's very difficult to play and he also needs a heavy investment in building him up. So yeah, the character that you choose should be depending on what your goals are. If you want the absolute best scores, you can build up Loki and master his gameplay. However, if you want versatility and more coverage, I would say building up Aries is the way to go. Hades, on the other hand, seems like a very fun character who can give you competitive numbers, but you need to put a competition on him. And as for Thanos, I genuinely wouldn't recommend building him for PvE, but yeah, if you still want to have some fun with him, you can go ahead and build him for PvE as well. But yeah, that is the end of this video. Those were my opinion on the villain alien restriction. So leave your thoughts down below on what you think about the restriction and the characters that I tested today. But yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, have a great one and peace.